Hello and welcome to the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center here at the University of New Haven. I'm Mike Maguire and this is Pitch Perfect. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pitch Perfect and welcome to our season finale Pitch Off. During the last several weeks, students from all over Connecticut have taken their place on the spot and pitched their new business ideas to a panel of expert judges. And now it comes down to two final pitches from our remaining champions who have each won rounds earlier in the season to make it here tonight. In our final pitch off, students will have up to 5 minutes to make their case to the judges for a chance to win an all-expense-paid trip to a nationally recognized entrepreneurship conference. So good luck, contestants, and now let's meet our panel of judges. First on my left is George Morris, former Chief Financial Officer with People's Bank and an active board member, coach, and mentor. Welcome, George. Next in the center is Dr. Rippy Singh. Dr. Singh is the founder and managing partner of Inspiring Next, a coaching firm that helps companies innovate, become more productive, and foster growth. Welcome, Dr. Singh. And finally, on my right is Dr. Candice Deal, a 3-time returning judge here at Pitch Perfect. Dr. Deal is an associate professor of accounting at Eastern Connecticut State University. Welcome, Dr. Deal. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Reem Alatas to Pitch Perfect with her idea called Rumble Helmet. Reem, you're on the spot. You have up to 5 minutes. Go.
Rumble Helmet. A smart bicycle helmet with integrated adaptive light system. Do you know that cycling is the second most popular physical activity in the US after jogging? And it has been my passion since I was a little girl. But I was afraid of getting into an accident, especially those accidents that are caused by poor visibility or lack of communication with other road users. And I'm not alone. There are 818 cyclists who were killed last year on US roads in bicycle accidents, and 45,000 cyclists were injured the same year. Therefore, I thought of combining all cycling safety aspects in a head protection enclosure to increase cyclist visibility and conveys better communication with other road users, which is Rumble Helmet. That has a front flashlight, backlight turn signals, and uniquely designed side lights to indicate to other road users whether the cyclist is going straight ahead, turn right, or turn left. The lights are controlled using hand signals or buttons that can be placed on the handlebar. Rumble Helmet has 2 awarded patents, a design patent and utility patent. In order to validate the market, I did a survey and I surveyed 100 cyclists to ask them the question, are you willing to use Rumble Helmet or similar technology? 73% said yes. And actually I went and I asked cyclist groups on meetup.com and cyclist shop on Canal Street in Manhattan, and they are interested in seeing and using the prototype, which is going to be ready in 10 days. So our target market includes cyclists of different genders, different ages, especially those who commute on their bicycles to work. The marketing channels include digital marketing, such as email marketing, social media marketing, and tech bloggers. And also we're going to be in different events, such as Tour de Lyme in Lyme, Connecticut, and Bike for Hope in New Haven, Connecticut, in addition to partnership with bike rentals and bike tours in the tri-state area. Our competition includes regular helmets, lights that can be attached to helmets, and lights that can be attached to bicycles. And now let's talk about numbers. Each unit retails for $185 and costs to manufacture $120, which makes our gross margin 35% and our projected sales by end of 2018, $1.85 million. The headquarters of Rumble Helmet is going to be in Bridgeport, Connecticut, and I'm going to be the CEO. I'm a PhD candidate in the field of computer science and engineering, and I'm an ex-Microsoftie. Also, I worked in a bank as a software engineer. So judges, are you ready to rumble?
Thank you, Reem. That was great. Good to see you again. This
Good
is
to
your
see you
third
too.
trip back to Pitch Perfect. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, so we're going to go turn to our judges, but first I think you have something you want to show them.
Yeah, I have a poster with some drawings of the helmet to give you a better idea about the helmet. Thank you.
Okay, well, George, we're going to start with you. Why don't you give Reem some feedback and clarification questions?
First of all, I think your presentation is terrific, and the concept is really important. A couple of questions. One, is there also some kind of a side view mirror?
I get this feedback from some cyclists. They said, why don't you put a mirror that it's similar like to how you do it in the car. You can flip it and then you can peek and see what is going on behind you. So right now I'm developing the prototype in China.
How stylish do you think it is relative to the competition?
I designed it myself and I think it looks beautiful. But I started asking people. Some of them, they're like, it's not beautiful. That's why I started changing, adding colors to it, putting a nice ventilation system to make it look stylish and modern. Because we want to compete with the regular helmets, like big names such as Bill and Gyro. So yeah, after doing some modifications, people are like, yeah, it looks nicer now. It looks better.
Okay, Rippy. Excuse me, Dr. Singh.
Thank you, Mike. Reem, that was a wonderful presentation. When I look at startups, I typically ask 8 to 12 questions, and you have actually covered all of them. You looked at competition, you looked at market. That's a good piece. The question I'll have, or clarification I will have on that, is how confident are you with those numbers?
Actually, I'm trying now to bring it lower than 120 without sacrificing the quality, because we need, our product to be very quality or high quality in order to meet make people satisfied with the product. But yeah, this is like the cap, the higher cap. It will never go above 120. It's gonna always, including the shipping, including the storage, is gonna be like lower than 120.
The second question is more on the engineering side. I looked at the poster you showed me and I see lights over here.
Yeah.
So that's for the night use.
Yes.
What about the day use? What happens during the day? You go by the hands, the traditional thing?
You go by the hands. Sometimes, if it's cloudy, it's gonna work very well. If it's jammed or there are a lot of crowd in New York City, it's gonna work. But the bandwidth of the light is not gonna be as strong as the nighttime.
Reem, in terms of your presentation, I appreciated the fact that you touched on the major business aspects. So you talked about, marketing, getting it out there, finance, management, and then you mentioned that you surveyed some individuals. I think you surveyed 100 people.
Yes.
So you said that 73% of of the individuals that you surveyed said that they would be interested in purchasing this product. So I'm just curious, in that survey, did you also make mention of the average of the retail price?
And when I mentioned 185 roughly, they were like, oh yeah, no problem, as long as we're gonna be safe.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And what's the average cost of bike helmets?
It's gonna be from $50 to $300 without lights, without the tech part.
Yeah. I think you mentioned that the helmet is being manufactured in China.
Yes.
Currently. What exactly, because I think that your cost of goods for, $120. I could be wrong, right? But I thought that was a really high cost of good right there. What exactly is causing it to be so high? Is it shipping? So shipping it back to the United States, is that taking up a lot of the cost?
Shipping will not take a lot of the cost, actually the electronics. Because we are trying to make the electronics and the lights detachable, so whenever they expire sometime, they don't need to get rid of the helmet. They can just replace the lights. So we're trying to make it, high-end and flexible for the users, so they can keep using it.
How is it activated? Is there something on the bike itself that can be attached to the bike? That way they don't have to take their hand off and touch anything on their helmet. So how is it going to be activated?
Yeah, there are two methods. The first method is using hand signals, and the second method is 2 buttons placed on the handlebar. So if you want to turn right, you can just click that button, and then turn left, click the left button.
Okay. So
Yeah.
in the helmet, or I guess in the packaging of the helmet, they would also get these detachable
Yeah.
for the bike handle.
Yes.
Ah, got it. Do you have to get any not motor vehicle, but any type of road regulations that you have to get approval, safety inspection first?
Yeah, the only regulation that we need to be certified is CPSC, Consumer Product Safety. consumer product safety, and I forgot the C. The last C stands for yes. Oh yeah, commission. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, with the ventilation system that is there and the new dimensions, because we made the helmet a little bit shorter from the back than the one here, just to let people, neck breathe when they're on their bike. Yeah, so we passed this testing.
What is the mission of your company?
Make everybody safe. Every bicycle rider safe.
Well, I've seen you here 3 times, and you've done a great job each time. So
Thank you.
no matter how this competition ends up, congratulations.
Thank you.
I do have one question though for you.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm thinking of a truly innovative, patented product like this, and you're looking at a 35% gross profit margin, it just seems a little slim for something that there is no substitute for. There's patent protection for. Should you go for a 50% margin on this, or go a little bit higher? What's your thinking on that?
Yeah, I want everyone to use that product and be safe while riding their bike. That's why we made that profit a little bit small or slim, as you mentioned. If we want to grow it, then we're going to negotiate with the manufacturers in order for them to give us lower deal.
Well, thanks, Reem. Great job. It's nice to see you back here again, and no matter how this turns out, congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back Ben Klemme to Pitch Perfect with his idea called Spoofers. Ben, you're on the spot. You have up to 5 minutes. Go.
Thank you for having me. So I'm working with a team of people who are base electrical, computer, and business for their majors. And what we're doing is we are trying to secure the Bluetooth market for medical devices. The FDA in 2007 put out guidelines recommending that it get more secure, and that not only the devices are secured, but the data on the devices are secured. So a lot of these things are things like pacemakers, artificial limbs, where if somebody were to hack into them, they can take data that's being used to correct the device's functions and potentially harm the devices themselves. Dick Cheney had the Bluetooth function of his disabled at one point. We got the idea from somebody named Jim Johnson, who has a prosthetic leg, and his coworker was able to hack into his leg. They didn't do anything when they did that, but they got very nervous about what could happen. And so he brought the idea to us at Charger Startup, and that's where we all met. So we are working with a company called SecureRF. They currently work in the military and luxury industries, and they're partners with the U.S. Air Force and Intel. And the U.S. Air Force uses SecureRF's patented technology to track packages across the world securely. And so SecureRF has agreed to let us use their patented technology to do this in the medical industry, because at the moment they don't really have the capacity to expand with their personnel. And in exchange, when they are ready to expand, we help them with that. This is a very big market. Medtronic, which is here in Connecticut, has a $28.83 billion revenue. The market by 2025 for the medical devices is expected to be over $500 billion. So this is a lot of money going unsecured. And there are national organizations creating presentations. The Wall Street Journal recently put out an article saying that pacemakers weren't secure and that the companies making them were trying to fix them. But the major flaw in that is their fixes are all about limiting the damage once somebody gets in. The beauty of what we're doing is we're making it so that nobody can get in. This is done in a variety of ways technologically, with the closest terminology that a lot of people will know of being public-private keys. So, and the key to their patented technology is the fact that it works on low-energy devices. Normally, to get that strength of cryptography for a device, where it's very, very difficult, if not impossible to hack into, requires more and more processing power, more and more energy, more and more electricity running through the system. Yet SecureRF has found a way to do this with low energy, low cost devices, so that you don't have to worry about taking a pacemaker and tripling the battery size for it. It works with the battery the pacemakers already have. And so we're trying to not only help these companies make their products more secure and adhere to these FDA guidelines, but protect the people who need these devices to live.
Thank you, Ben. Well done.
Thank
well
you.
done. Your presentation has come a long way, and I remember the first time I heard about this roommate's artificial prosthetic leg getting hacked. I said, "You got to be kidding me! This is unbelievable if this actually happened." So, George, let's hear from you first.
Ben, that was wonderful. I mean, I certainly hope you're successful, because certainly for the benefit of society if you and your coworkers are successful. A couple of questions I have. One is obviously I'm thinking of where is this going next? Like, for example, will blockchain be part of the encryption ultimately that will allow this nobody be able to be hacked? Do you think?
So one of the keys to this is that we are working within Secure RF's patent.
Right.
So we aren't really taking their technology and making large changes to it. What we're more doing is making the small adaptations that the medical industry requires.
Are you partnering with them, or are you going to get equity in or give to them as well as you, or how are you going to make money?
So our plan is to, once we have it, do a licensing agreement based on a period of time and have it a sliding scale on payment based on the size of the market. Because honestly, I can't imagine a small company that makes a few thousand defibrillators paying the same thing as Medtronic, which makes hundreds of thousands of devices.
Sure. And where will you be producing these?
So we don't actually have that yet because there's a complete possibility that we don't actually need a physical device and it's completely a software update.
Thank you very much, Ben.
Dr. Singh.
Ben, wonderful. I think the problem you identified is a good one. I commend you for that. You know, data security across the board, worldwide, is becoming a big deal. So whether you call it cybersecurity or whatever name you give, so this is a good field. So congratulations for picking the right area to play in. My question to you is, who is your customer?
So our customer is Medtronic and St. Jude Medical, the people who produce these devices.
So what holds back Medtronic from going directly to them? I mean, what is it that you own which will help you generate cash?
So we have a licensing agreement with SecureRF saying that they will not sell to anybody else in the medical field.
So you got that kind of a first mover advantage. You just said, hey, listen, give it to me, and from here onwards, I'll take care of it.
Yep.
Wonderful. That's a good news thing. I commend you for that decision. Thank you very much.
Ben, I must commend you for the idea in that it's bringing awareness to something that I'm pretty much sure a lot of people aren't aware, it's happening right now. I, for one, was not aware that this was an issue. So, thank you for bringing awareness to that. So my question for you is, so this is not a device that consumers would purchase. Instead, it's a software, correct?
So there are two possibilities. This will depend company to company and how their softwares are set up. It could just be a software that's implemented in their devices, or it could be a small circuit board that's implemented in their device to add it in.
And so with this software, how is it going to be priced? So is it just monitoring it to make sure that it's secure? So are you charging a subscription for monitoring, or is it just a one-time purchase of the software device?
So what it is we sell them the license to use whatever it is we come up with, because we are going to have to make small adaptations. SecureRF told us they started in luxury when they went into military. They did have to make adaptations because the military's access ports are different than the luxury industry's access ports. So those small changes are going to be needed. So our pricing is, we will go to Medtronic and say, and negotiate with them a period of, let's say, for an example, 3 years. They have unlimited access to our product for those 3 years. And at the end of those 3 years, to continue to use our product, they must renegotiate the contract.
Ben, great job. Good to see you again here.
Thank you.
And please join Reem off stage while the judges make their decision. Well, judges, you have your work cut out for you. Of all the presentations and pitches that we've seen during the season, I think these two are clearly the most developed. The ideas are quite unique. They involve technology being used in a whole new and different way. So best of luck to you, judges. This is the final pitch off of the season. The weight is on you. Let the deliberation begin.
Well, certainly they both have wonderful ideas, not only for themselves, but for society, which is very important. Ben's is probably, in some ways, has more beneficial in the long run, but I'm not quite so sure that it's as practical near term for an entrepreneur as as
And,
Reem's.
and I kind of felt the same way too. Appreciated the benefits for both of them, but when you look at practicality and feasibility of getting the product out there, I think that Reem's product is more likely to make it to the market first, before Ben's does.
Right, and when I look at it, Reem's looking at a product innovation, and what Ben's doing it is more like a business model innovation. He's taking an intellectual property that is owned by somebody else,
Right.
Yes.
trying to put it into a product that's owned by somebody else, and creating a value for a third person.
Exactly.
Right. So he's gonna have to go through a coordination with multiple contracts, and eventually, I still struggle to find where is his own intellectual property that he could encash. Right. Whereas Reem at least has this. Okay, I have this product. I've got this covered. I got the patent. I got the she's got her act together with the pricing, costing, gross margin, supply chain, and all that stuff. So,
Her cash flow seems like in the beginning is going to be superior to Ben's.
Yes.
Simply, but as my other question, I'm sorry, Candice, but my question, I guess, is others must be working on this as well.
I don't see how Reem's product is, extremely different from other helmets there on the market, or other attachments that you can add to your helmet. So I think that the patent that she has is the design patent, whereas the lights or signals are already included on the helmets. But my biggest concern with her product is price point. I think that to manufacture it for, I think she said $120, out of China. I think that is maybe 3 times more than what I would have expected.
now, I didn't bring that point up, but I get a feeling that her estimates are probably based on very few quantities. I don't think she's looked at economies of scale as to where she can take it. Right? And she may not have also thought through that, what you're doing with the helmet, you can actually do it with the jackets, and you can do it with other gadgets and take an offshoot, and that would really drive the cost down. She probably needs to work on that. That's something we can give her a feedback in terms of, taking.
Well, I was thinking about discounters too that could come in
Right.
with a Me Too product,
Right.
but yet, and certainly in New York bike shops, I suspect that those are people who are pretty high income. I didn't ask the demographics of the average biker, but I bet they're not necessarily
That's true.
say, oh, $185 is fine.
Right.
I think we know where we're going with this, so
Yep.
we probably have a consensus here.
I think so.
I think
yes.
Very
we're
good.
good. Yes.
Very good. Thank you.
Well, welcome back, contestants. Reem,
Thank you.
welcome back. Ben, welcome
Thank you.
back. How you feeling?
Oh.
It's just
Good.
a little stressed. It's a
Little.
little bit of a tension going on here. Very interesting collaboration and deliberation that went on with our judges, but they have made their decision. Dr. Singh, do you have the decision?
Yes, I do.
So here's our decision. First, I want to thank you both. You both got here by winning 2 competitions. So you've been here twice before, and you felt what it's like to win those competitions. So congratulations. But this is the final pitch-off. And this is the culmination of the season, the culmination of your preparation. And now we're going to find out who Pitch Perfect's pitch-off Season 1 champion is and who the runner-up is. Are we ready? Okay. The Pitch Perfect Season 1 pitch-off champion is Reem. Ben, you are our runner-up. Both were tremendous. Dr. Singh, why don't you share a little bit about the rationale for the decision?
So, Reem and Ben, good job, both of you. It was a tough call because when we looked at it, the innovations you're coming up with have a large-scale impact, right? It'll impact millions of people when it's successful. Reem, you were looking at safety. Ben, you were looking at security from the healthcare side. In terms of your business model, you've been looking at product innovation, and Ben, you looked at business model innovation. So it was really a tough call trying to compare those two. But in the end, we kind of felt that Reem, your product and your business model is a lot more advanced and mature. You've looked at the competitive space, you've looked at the price point. I mean, it is at a point where you're closer to achieving it and capturing the market. So that's what we looked at. We also have some feedback for both of you. Reem, first thing, we believe that in your space, the moment you get this product out, very soon you will have a lot of competition. And you will have to drive the cost down. If you don't do that, You will enter the market and you will be thrown out of the market very quickly.
Okay.
So I want you to think about how you will scale that up, reduce the cost down. And also, to continuously sustain innovation, you need to think about, are there any byproducts that you can take off from the helmet? Can you go towards jackets? Can you go towards something else? Ben, in your business model, I think a big thing you need to work about is how do you secure those licenses, those contracts, so that companies like Medtronic or anybody else doesn't completely say, why do I need Ben? You know, I can develop these software. My software is very hard to protect. So you got to think about how you will protect your business model, how quickly you will get into a market space where, just like you got your prime mover advantage with the secure RF, how will you do it with the customers as well? How will you get exclusivity? And for that, you might think about engaging some attorneys and some of the other finance guys who know this game and who can get you a secure position. Until that, you are a little bit on a risky ground.
Well, that's it from the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Center here at the University of New Haven. Thank you for joining us today for our Season 1 finale. Make sure you tune in for Season 2. And remember to make it yours, make it real, and keep on pitching.